those human characteristics, knowing what you are is very important because when you identify what you are, you can now exercise that, and use what you are to your advantage so that the power that you do have on you never gets used against you. And unfortunately, very easily that can happen if you don't know who you really are, That beta, that bravo, uh, gets a bad rep and it's heavily misunderstood. Again, I want to bring up we're not animals, we're actually human beings. So the comprehension of what an alpha and a bravo is very different. It's very important to know if you are a bravo or a beta that you're not actually less than an alpha. You're not. Uh, Probably the way dumb society makes it look like that alpha's the person you want to be. And sometimes if you get caught up in that, you might start believing you want to be that. But because of the attributes you have inside you, you can actually never be it. Okay? Just like an alpha can never be you. It doesn't work that way. You'll understand in time that you are actually a team, that all qualities of humanity, when we all work together, you'll see the real picture, of why we are what we are. And when we put that together, you'll learn to create that kotahitanga wanzai, that oneness, that unity. But it's about that acceptance, not as an individual who and what we are, but just as a collective group out of respect for one another. But one of the meanest skills that a beta has, that I deeply respect, man, is their fucking intense focus, man. Their focus is so fine-tuned that even their peripheral vision, is still tuned into what they've got going on in their mind, But when I say it's fucking intense, like, it's intense, man. Like, I actually learned a lot of these guys when it comes to their focus, And easily you can throw around words like discipline, but it's not actually discipline for them. It's actually a fucking need. Like, they need to focus in on what they're focusing on. And, that really gets them going. Like, the commitment, like, they don't need sleep. Those people, definitely when they're focused on what they want to achieve, they definitely don't need sleep, They don't need tired. Some of them don't even need food. That's because the picture that they've enlarged in their mind with the power of their focus is so nourishing to them that they just don't give it up, And it wouldn't surprise me to hear these people to work for a couple of days, no sleep, without drugs either. Like, that's just pure spirit of who and what they are. And you're probably wondering yourself, how is that useful? When it comes to people like me, I'll just say, how can you not fucking see it, man? But oh well, you sit to the sideline and judge these people, go hard, And getting on the wrong side of these type of people, it'll be one of the biggest fucking mistakes of your life, I promise you that. Because they have their own attributes, you see, they don't really give a fuck who and what you are. They don't even allow their brain to even go near that thought. Because they're generally those type of people that focus in on what they want to achieve. In some sense, that's the selfish part of them. But it's a quality they have, And it's a quality that you've got to learn to accept and understand. Because they don't care about people. They don't hate people. They're not worried about them. It means nothing to them if you're having a bad day or not, Because they just don't allow their mind frame to go that way. Because they can't really. Because they've got that thing on their mind. And that's all they're focusing on, And that's all they're doing. Generally, those type of people are like, hey, you alright, bro? And they're like, oh, yeah. And they're more angry at you for fucking with their train of thought, Because they don't appreciate that. And fair enough, man. Probably what you've got to build in your mind is probably going to help humanity. Because generally, that's how it fucking turns out. But the reason I have a close connection with these type of people or characters, is because of the knowledge that they've given myself, Definitely when it came to their focus, now Stu, he's alright, But when you learn the attributes of a beta, that's what it really is. They just teach you that how to focus with a bit more clarity, And they don't actually tell you. You just watch them, and that's how you learn, You don't always have to ask those fucking stupid questions, Because sometimes if that's not your characteristics, you won't understand. Like, do you understand when you hear about a person staying up, all night for a couple of days maybe, because they're so intense and focused on what they're trying to achieve? You'll probably start thinking, oh, well, it's one of those fucking crackhead cunts. But no, this is just who they are. And it's understanding they don't give a fuck what you think. They really don't. It's not because they want to disrespect you. They think will stay hard and, intimidate you in any type of way. It's because, no, really, they don't even have that train of thought, eh? It's definitely a thing I really admire, eh? And, yeah, if you find yourself disrespecting these people, eh? Dumb cunt, eh? I'll tell you a story about one, eh? Back when Stu was a bit of a younger fella, eh? And thought he was a fucking tough cunt. Bulletproof at that time. Only in the head, though. And pretty much was just a dumb cunt then, eh? Still learning, eh? And there was this one lad, and I deliberately used to pick on him. Just we just had that way of looking at each other. When you see people and you just don't fucking like them, you don't have a reason why, and that's actually not a good enough excuse to hate somebody. Although I didn't hate him, it's just fuck, just clash of the fucking egos, I guess at that time. Problem was, he was a beta, eh? And I could sort of identify that from my ignorant point of view, ignorant ones, eh? And I thought I'd be a fucking smart aleck and start a bit of trouble with him. Hey, it was all on me, really. I take full responsibility for that. But it was a lesson I had to fucking learn, eh? And sometimes those hard lessons hit you fucking harder, man. They really do. You see, I even got into a fight with this fella. We had a few fights, actually. I know now we were just getting to know each other. But back then, fuck, I just wanted to punch his fucking head in, eh? The problem is, because we served with each other, we found ourselves both in that situation, even though we didn't fucking like each other at that point in time. We found ourselves in a bit of a situation where we actually had no choice. We had to work together for our way, just so we can, get into a safe area. It was just one of those situations, anyway. It's a bit of amazing how very quickly your attitude can change when you have to work with someone just for survival reasons, eh? And it's funny, the conversations we had there, eh? It's when I had to say to myself, this bro didn't even fucking really do anything to me, man. It's not his fault. He just, this is who he is. This is what he is. He showed up for the same fucking reason I did, but I was just being a fucking asshole. And turns out I still needed to pull his fucking head in, eh? I know now very easily, if he put the power of his mind, I wouldn't have stood a fucking chance. But there is part of, when it comes to a beta, although they have their intense focus and they don't really give a fuck what you're up to, but it doesn't mean that they don't care for you, eh? And it wasn't until this bro showed that heart that I had no choice but to show the same. We conquered together. He's actually one of my friends. I have a lot of love for him. I don't really want to say his name. I might embarrass him, eh? But it was a learning curve for myself. Be very careful who you fucking go around disrespecting, eh, man? Just because you have that low IQ and low opinion of what human characteristics are all about. Hopefully you're not on the wrong receiving end of those type of people, eh? Of anybody, really. And I'm glad I got taught a lesson in life. Those are one of the hardest ones, eh? When you can't even lie to your fucking self that you were the dickhead, eh? But hey, it's all about growing up, eh? But definitely with our betas, eh? As much as our alphas can conquer the world, you can conquer the world, eh? Now, one thing I really want to bring to attention, imagine if you put these two type of characteristics together, eh? Fuck, does your mind not go wild then, eh? You can achieve a lot of things, eh? It's definitely something to be proud of if you're a beta. Never think that you're a lower form of human being, below an alpha, eh? We just have two different duties in life. And eventually we've got to learn to work together. Because that's what we are. Great people, eh? Yeah. Once you know how to stay careful, you, eh? Pretty mean, right?